Zulu Alpha, we're coming up on the south tip. Governor's got you there crossing to the Lady. We're at 1,000 and the break downtown. Zulu Alpha is inbound.
Statue of Liberty is coming up on our left, folks. We're basically pointing at it here.
Second for spot 11, and we're looking for your number 1.
8 Tango Delta East, Tension for Arizona northbound, switching to north.
9 Tango Delta Zero. Delta 9 Tango Delta Zero.
1,100 feet, 90 knots.
Second above and downtown, say again.
9 cities inbound on the battery.
5 Mike Hotel out of Buttermilk, dispatch 500.
Skyhawk coming up on the Lady, northbound 1100.
Which TD is that inbound?
9 Tango Delta looks like behind
1100 feet. Hold 1100
feet. 2809.
Set attitude, power, and trim away control
We're
pressure.
stopping the VZ 5 for 9.
2 on west, Celtic Governor's 500 westbound for statue.
And 0 Lima Hotel is boat base at 900 course reverse. We have TD descend and we'll fall behind.
Cover that New York 5, holding.
New York 5 hold. Let's go for Trevor stop 900. That's okay. That's the clock descending towards downtown.
What's that, Governor's Island on our right?
Yep.
And then you got the Statue of Liberty on our left and Ellis Island out in front of us.
You bet.
7 TD slowing it up.
Say again for 7 Tango Delta? 5 on the Bravo.
This is awesome flying up to this.
Charlie Kilo, second for departure, holding.
Hold them.
Skyhawk, a beam the Lady, northbound 1100.
You got 29 Tango Delta, the clock around the battery, number 2.
A firm spot 8.
Tango Delta's up the holler around 1,000, we southbound.
9
Huh?
No, Juliet by Bears 1.4 descent.
You want to relax and enjoy the sights a little bit, just let me know and I'll fly.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Gavin Stevens South 900, I got you there.
Yeah, you're going to stay on this third of the river
Yep.
for traffic coming the other way.
Yeah. See a helicopter dead underneath us.
Downtown, you got 29 Tango Delta, number 2 inbound. New York 5's off downtown, thanks, you need. Alright.
You guys know, you know what the clock is? It's called the clock.
What number 3?
Yeah, the Colgate clock.
Yeah.
Should be
In
7
Jersey City.
Basically right.
It's right here on the left.
Yeah. I was having a hard time seeing that one.
No, it should be up there a little ways.
9 now, sir.
What 9? 7 Tango Delta.
No, this here is Stevens Tech. It's right on this side of Stevens Tech. Poked in behind those buildings there.
Downtown, 1 city around the battery landing.
Cover that 1 TD, you're going to be number 3 for spot 2.
Number 3 for spot 2, that's all you got.
Skyhawk, a beam the clock, northbound 1100.
Downtown, you got Charlie.
Okay, so you got the Freedom Tower over there on the right. We just passed by. It looks like it's done, huh?
Cover that, Charlie.
I'm banking a little bit right to look at it. Come back a little bit left.
That was Gap coming up the clock.
I mean,
downtown.
right.
River traffic here, New York 6, course reversal boat base in 1.5.
The next one's the Intrepid.
River traffic 5 south, tip of Governor's 500 westbound for the side.
Where's the clock?
Downtown, fuel yet?
Fuel is up, sir.
29 TD, we'll be...
I thought it was right in
Take
there.
it to spot 4.
Full.
That old clock right there.
That was around the battery
On the
drop
top
fuel.
of the Erie Lackawanna.
Right.
Alright.
Next one is the Intrepid.
Helicopter off to our left there, you see it?
Yep, next one's the Intrepid. Got the Empire State Building.
Yep.
There's the Intrepid.
Base and course reversal, leaving 1.5 for 9 southbound, Jersey City. 60 at the clock at 9. Staying left there downtown. Back to statue 500.
Turn a little bit to the right.
Southbound 900 at 3. Hey, downtown, but Whiskey Alpha, gonna bring it to the Charlie and hold. Alright, I'm in the hole.
Skyhawk over the Intrepid, northbound 1100.
New York 6 Intrepid 9 southbound. 5 Echo 12, course reversal to BZ north to south, 1100, just switching north.
Coming up on Central Park to our right.
It's just at the Intrepid, you can't go past the boat base northbound, that's the CFR.
1190.
Downtown, 60 north, just inbound.
When one is low and one is high, you can trade with pitch. Altitude's low, airspeed's high, just raise the nose a little bit. You'll gain a little speed, a little altitude as you bleed off a little speed.
About 8.
There's Central Park.
Alright, 1806. And downtown, 0 Lima Hotel's off the clock inbound.
Is here at the Galaxy Towers in Guttenberg, and then that's the Stonehenge in North Bergen. Those are my stomping grounds where I was born and raised.
New York 5 Bay on Pier South.
Got the ferry terminal down there,
Juliet, we're clocking
where my dad works.
It's amazing that you can do this, isn't it?
This is just awesome.
One of the few freedoms we have left.
3 for spot.
Be able to do this.
And downtown for 0 Lima Hotel, I'm showing number 2 here. So Fox Intrepid 900 southbound.
I can't imagine putting this down in the river, no less what Sully did.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hey.
Skyhawk coming up on the GWB, northbound 1100.
Charlie Kilo, front side of
Bridge, Washington Bridge coming up here. Yankee Stadium over there to the right. LaGuardia Airport right over there.
6 at the clock, south 900, heading left downtown.
Hey, Tango Delta Intrepid 900 southbound.
You go right over this side of it.
Downtown, New York 6 on the battery. New York 5, west stanchion of the VZ, south at 9, Jersey 7. Charlie.
Skyhawk over the Intrepid, northbound 1100.
GWB, you said Intrepid.
Correction, GWB, Skyhawk northbound 1100. Thank you.
Sky got GWB, this is TFR.
Yeah, I pay attention.
Sun Fox's clock, 900 southbound. You got time.
And over there on the left, the Palisades is just the way to Henry Hudson saw it back in 1620. Probably the only part of the United States left untouched.
Hey, Tango Delta Holland Tunnel southbound 900.
New York 5 quarantine, course reversal 900 northbound. Lima South 900 northbound. So Fox, face of statue 900 southbound. Yeah, Roger.
This is Yonkers right here we're coming up on?
Is it?
I think it might be.
You know New York better than me. Alpine Tower's coming up over there.
Right, that's the...
Hey, Tango Delta at the clock, descending left for downtown.
Tappan Z Bridge is
Got 2 Lima battery north.
Straight ahead.
I got George.
Got you over there. Downtown, A Tango Delta around the battery first spot. Into the hold.
Julie Sears, Van Pierce, 500 for downtown. New York 5, so far, Van Pierce, 900. How's it switching north?
They're afraid to talk back there because I told them that the GoPro is going to record what they say.
Is it working now?
Yeah, I believe it is, yes.
Hey, Tango Delta North 6, Governor's in the hold.
When we went past the clock tower and GWB and all of that,
Juliet Sierra's inbound.
those are mandatory checkpoints post 9/11 that we have to make announcements. That's where we're passing. Otherwise, we might be visited by some gentleman from McGuire Air Force Base.
PT full face course reversal 1.5 for 9 south.
Skyhawk coming up on Alpine Tower, northbound 1100.
5 Mike Hotel, course reversible base 15 for 9 south.
Hey, Tango Delta, go ahead. ATD spot 11 south, yep, we'll be in a moment.
Inbound, 3 Juliet Sierra. We're inbound, north tip in the hole.
When me and Joe went up to Bear Mountain, we saw a seaplane took off from underneath the bridge. Went underneath and then took off.
BT is jumping south at 9. 2 limit traffic north 9.
I guess that's the only way you can bring a plane under the bridge is if you taxi on the water under it. They frown upon you flying down under it.
And river traffic, Charlie Kilo 1.5.
Anytime you want to turn westbound at this point, you can turn westbound. And when you do, we're going to climb up to 2,500 feet. We can't go below 3,000 because the Class Bravo airspace is above us, but we can go up to 2,500.
First course is going to be southbound.
And depending upon where you turn, I'll give you your course.
All right, we'll turn about here.
Okay. Climbing turn to 2,500 feet.
Fox DZ 900 north.
River traffic, Skyhawk exiting the river to the west, climbing through 1,300. .270 on the heading. 270. 90 knots on the climb is good. En route climb of 90 knots. We don't need to use our usual best rate of climb.
Right.
You can use a cruise climb. Gives you a little more visibility over the nose. Keeps the engine cooler.
Man, that's just awesome out to the left there, ain't it, Elvis?
Yes. Downtown.
Now you could go back down that side and you'd have to be on the Jersey side going down.
Right.
Spot 10 for Juliet Sierra. 2 hotels and traffic south of 9. He's got 10.
270 is due west.
Yes, sir.
Downtown, you got PT off the clock and down. Alright, we got Juliet Sierra. Charlie Kilo 900, Holland Tunnel South.
You're just going to try to keep that needle centered.
So we're at the clock south side, around the bout of downtown.
Going to be about a 270 to 280 heading, depending upon what the wind's doing to you.
Yeah.
Into the hole, 5 miles itself. Downtown, 7 Fox South, tip inbound. Into the hole, 7 Fox, on my kilo. CD South of Governor's 4 for the lady.
9 Tango Delta is St. George, southbound 89.
Superior Delta BC, northbound 9.
Bring your power back just a little bit. Keep it away from the 5,000 foot mark.
I was just getting there.
Charlie Kilos at the clock heading southbound 900 for the VZ.
I was just scanning those when you said that. I was going to oil pressure. And
Boat base and reversing course. We'll be southbound 1.4 for 9, Jersey side.
we were almost 113, 120 ground speed going. We're only 80 coming back.
Yep.
By Mike Hotel, we're coming on the north tip.
Charlie Kilo south by the Lady 900 for the VZ.
We're over the Park Ridge, Pearl River, Hillsdale, Westwood area right now.
Meriden traffic, you have Skyhawk that's 5 miles west, inbound. What's your traffic pattern? River traffic, New York 5 at the Intrepid south at 9, Jersey side. Take it out there, come out of the course, reverse on Bow Basin, southbound Jersey side.
Keep us right on that course line, because if we go too far left, we'll go over the top of Caldwell. We got to be above 2,700 feet to go over the top of that.
Right. 3 miles west.
Unless we're talking to them, which we're not.
Downwind for 18 Meriden. Hey, you got 5 Mike Hotel. We're actually in the hold again, so we're ready to come inbound.
Going right tank,
all right, Roger,
equalize the fuel flow.
Okay, I see there. That's why you made that decision.
Yeah, what happens on Cessnas is you see that big vent right out there?
Yeah.
As the fuel drains out of the tanks, air refills that tank, pushes fuel this way. So this tank keeps getting filled from fuel over here.
Yep. I read that in the book. I remember that.
2,500 feet on our course. You get close to 3,000 feet, you're getting close to the bottom of the Bravo airspace. You're going to be visited by you're going to be seeing a lot of heavy airplanes coming right over the top of you. So 2,500 will work.
River traffic, 700 out to Bold Basic, southbound 1.4, descending to 900. And downtown, Tulum is going to be spot 3, hold for the fuel, please.
Take a look back at New York from here.
New York 6 south of Governor 400.
Traffic at Skyhawk directly over the field, heading east. We'll descend into the 45 for left downwind, 18 Meriden. New York, the Holland Tunnel south at 9, Jersey side.
Charlie Kilo's 900, set now in stanchion at the VZ southbound.
Tango Delta south tip of Governor for the Statue 400.
New York 6 back by the statue, climb left hand, turn north, switching over to Newark.
New York Fox south at 9, descend on turn for downtown. Break downtown, New York 5's coming around the battery, inbound for fuel.
Hey, Tango Delta south tip to the statue.
The Garden State Parkway directly underneath us there. That's one of the easy pass toll plazas you see to the left there, that little Z thing over the road.
North to southbound, course reversal 900. That's 3 o'clock south at 9 for downtown behind New York. Break downtown, 10 for inbound number 2.
1 GD south of the statue, climb left, turn north, switching New York.
Traffic. Alpha.
Contact Delta to Coney Island northbound at 9.
City course for both base 1.4 South 9.
Maintain about the top of the 10, you turn south further, Arizona 500.
And downtown 8 Zulu Alpha behind.
When this is to the left, I have to go left.
Correct. You fly to the needle. Airspeed. Altitude.
Yep.
Heading.
Maintain about the Bayonne Pier southbound 600, climb to 9.
South 9.
Downtown, you got Charlie Kilo coming up on the southern tip of Governor's inbound. Charlie Kilo's in the hole, another clock inbound.
What frequency were we on over the river? Were we announcing our
The
checkpoint?
CTAP River frequency. 12305. The dedicated common traffic advisory frequency for making announcements over the river to other traffic.
Around the valley, bound for landing.
If you're above 1,300 feet, you talk to controllers because you're in Class Bravo. And you don't go below 1,000 feet unless you're local traffic landing off the river, basically helicopters.
Charlie Kilo's buttermilk southbound 900 hold.
Robbie 20 Hotel Space Dispatching 500 for the back. And 700 Delta from the south of Governor, holding at 700.
Maintain about the extension for zone.
River driving New York today. Course reversal, Bill Base, and 1.5 down to 9, south there, side.
Downtown 60D, Elves inbound.
So we need 2,000, 2,100 to maintain 80 knots at straight and level flight, and we're about 23, 24 to maintain 100 knots in straight and level flight.
Charlie Kilo,
Yep,
800
approximately.
Yep. Governor's in a hold. River traffic 1 Tango Delta to both base, left course reversal south 1.5 to 9.
And when we were turning towards the Verrazano, you said that we're 1 mile south. How do you know how far you are?
Hey, Tango Delta extension Verrazano north.
Just from experience.
Okay.
but there is a rule of thumb you can use. Take your altitude, so you're between 2 and 3 right now. Okay, you drop the last 3 zeros, so you're between 2,000 and 3,000. So say just between 2 or 3. Drop the last 3 zeros. Whatever you can see right over the nose, right over the top of the nose, is 2 to 3 miles away.
Okay.
So whatever you can see right over the top of the nose.
That lake right there,
Yep.
that water that we're looking at right there is 2 to 3 miles away.
Right.
Okay. And would that be Lake Parsippany maybe?
Now, we're real close to Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park Airport is going to be coming up.
That's 80 out there in the distance, right?
Yep. No, I think that's 287.
Oh, okay.
80's over there. That's 287.
Oh, that's yeah. That's the mountain in Oakland.
We'll keep climbing south for the VZ.
There you go, Charlie Kilo, north tip. Yeah, Charlie Kilo, we're going to drop.
Okay, so here's how this works. Look, the GPS will tell us by just putting the pointer on something. I have the pointer on Lincoln Park Airport. It's 3.9 miles away. You see those big white greenhouses over there?
Yes.
That's where the airport is. Notice it's not quite on the nose. It's a little over the nose, so it's not 2 to 3 miles away. It's a little more. It's about 3.5 miles away.
Right,
see how that works?
I got it.
We're actually number 2, 60. Spot 8, 60. Porter Charlie 7, Tango Bill.
1749er Zulu, weather, wind 270 at 10, gust 17, visibility 10, clear below.
Air traffic New York 6 on tunnel 900 south.
I have a work colleague. His house is right on top of that mountain in Oakland.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's the tippy top of the mountain.
That was Galveston Island Ferry for the VZ 1000.
He's got 2 backhoes so he can plow his driveway in the winter.
Okay, now it's saying that Lincoln Park is 2.5 miles away. It's right on the tip of the nose, 2.5 miles away. 2,000 to 3,000 feet, drop off the zeros, 2 to 3, so 2.5. Works pretty good. As long as you're in a level pitch attitude.
Right.
Phone it up, New York 6. Into the hold, New York 6.
New York, Bonanza 5368 Echo is approaching the Verrazano Bridge at 900 feet, flying to Hudson.
Becomes important in the glide, in engine outs, to determine how far you can get.
Right.
If I'm at this altitude and I want to reach that airport over there, if it's right off the nose, I know it's 2.5 miles away. If I'm at 2,500 feet or 2,500, I know I'm going to get there because I can glide basically 1.5 times my altitude. In other words, if I'm at 3,000 feet, I can glide 4.5 miles. If I'm at 6,000 feet,
9,000.
Right.
9 miles.
Anything else is in trip? It's southbound 9.
Lincoln Park is right downstairs to your left.
Yep. Coming up the VZ, you got a helicopter on the south side. I think you got another one behind me.
And that's what they are there, greenhouses?
Yeah.
So is that where our lettuce comes from? Or the flowers?
Flowers, I think.
Did you copy traffic
Here
at the
comes
VZ?
inbound airplane.
Yep.
This is 5368 Echo at 900 feet, just past the Verrazano Bridge, going northbound.
Check 5 out to the 12.
That was Captain Quarantine Island for Coney Island. 900.
One tank is out the cone of south tip of Governors, keeping it high 700 for the traffic in the buttermilk.
Okay, staying on course here. A little bit of a right-hand turn. What are you pointing to?
The Gap, is that way out there?
Yep. A little bit of a right-hand turn.
Tango Delta is VZ, course reversal northbound 1000 with switching.
You'll be clear at least one more for New York 6.
On downtown 1 TD, south tip governor.
We hit some wind here, we slowed down, our ground speed slowed.
Spot 12 on New York 6, copy.
8 Tango Delta, reverse the course at the boat basin.
Delta 560, Echo approaching Liberty from the south at 850 feet.
Right, it started gradual climb here to 3,000 feet. Gradual climb to 3,000 feet, just a couple hundred feet per minute. Full power in the climb, attitude, power equals performance. Full power, raise a nose a degree or two, put in a nice shallow climb up to 3,000 feet. Shallower than that, lower the nose a little bit. Just looking for a couple hundred feet per minute on the climb. I don't want to climb into the Bravo airspace, which is still above us a little bit.
5 Mike Hotel, we're out of the bottom of the statue 500. We got the northbound fixed wing. Fixed wing, you got the helicopter in front of you? Meredith traffic, there's the entering crosswind for 18 Meredith. 8 Blue Alpha, back of the ladies, running southbound for the VZ, climbing to the
Where'd you say, 3,000?
Yeah, for now. Bring that power on back as you level out.
900 feet.
I feel like I'm bringing the power back, but the RPMs ain't coming down, is that?
Well, as you lower the nose, you put less resistance on the propeller.
Okay.
And so that keeps the RPM up a little bit. Smoke rise coming up on our right. I see the chapel in the middle of the lake. I'll show you. To the left.
Brooklyn side, the climbing north, switching over to north.
3,000 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Echo is finishing circling the section.
That smoke rise up in Butler?
Yep. Oh, chapel. Kinnelon. Got the chapel in the middle of the lake there.
Intrepid south of 9.
Now, how do you get to church?
What's that?
How do they go to chapel every Sunday morning?
Okay, 3,000 feet, 100 knots. On course to Blairstown.
Yeah, time out is closed. I'm headed to Lancaster. Early Motel, Intrepid south 900.
I'm taking up this south tip of the Holden Center.
Right now, our ground speed's 60 miles an hour, Bob. And we were driving up here faster than we're flying right now.
Alpha, oh, you have a number? 11.
Downtown 8 Tango Delta, around the battery. And 8 Tango Delta, spot 9.
I had the gap before, but now I don't see it no more. It should be that one there?
Yep.
But that's not where we're headed. We're still following this.
Yeah. Well, there's your course line right there. We're on our course line, but we're pointed to the right. You see the airplane?
Right. I
The
see.
course line's going right to the gap. Your airplane's not pointed there, though.
100 feet.
If he goes down, I see he goes.
All right, I see it now.
You're getting a little early navigational training here. The difference between a line on a chart, which is a course, and where the airplane's pointing is your wind correction angle.
Right.
If your course, let's say, is 280, the line from point A to point B doesn't mean you're going to fly a heading of 280, because if the wind's coming from there, you're going to be flying more than 280, because you're going to be turned towards the north on the compass, maybe 290. The wind's coming from there, you're going to be crabbed that way to maybe 260, 270 to hold your course line.
Only must out the clock, 900, descending off turn for downtown.
All right, let's climb up. We're now beyond the Bravo airspace. Let's climb up to 3,500 feet. Constant airspeed climb at 90 knots, up to 3,500 feet. Altitude is your friend, so we want to get altitude when we can. 90 knots. Right rudder keeps the ball centered in the climb. Wings level, up to 90 knots on course. Looking outside, peeking inside. Pitch plus power equals performance.
Tip governors were northbound at 1,000.
Set attitude, set power, then trim away, control pressure. Hit us on course with a little bit of a left-hand turn.
To the Alpha for Juliet here.
Probably going to be smoother up here, even though the wind's stronger. We're far away from the ground now, so don't have as much mechanical turbulence.
Copy the Bravo's early.
Notice how smooth it is up here, 3,500 feet. Also, the wind report at 3,000 was 45 knots. It's about right. We're going about 105,
and we're doing
ground speed's 57. What's the difference?
105 minus 45 is, yep, about right there.
Well, you're going to get your wish. When you texted me the other day, you said, can we do that? You're going to get your wish, because it's nice and smooth up here, so when we get over these ridges, we're going to slow it down to slow flight. You're going to maintain altitude in slow flight, and we're going to show you what it looks like to hover in an airplane. How you guys doing back there, by the way? Doing all right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Check, good.
Base. 26 on them. Second Delta, course reversal, boat base in southbound, 1.5 for 900 Jersey side.
Look, Mom, no hands.
North traffic. Look Radio Tower, this is Bonanza 536 Echo.
Check 3.
Yeah, it's smooth up here right now. Plane flying itself.
Lake Opakon coming up on the left here.
Set to the Intrepid southbound Jersey side, 900. That was Calvin, boat base in reverse and course, 1,400 descending south.
Charlie Kilo 500, Buttermilk South. 7 Alpha Juliet, boat base 1.3 for 9 southbound behind Woods Alpha. Can I take it out to the clock around the battery landing downtown, break downtown 29, take it out to the clock inbound.
Charlie Kilo, Buttermilk, 500 for the lady.
Yeah, you got more than a 50 knot headwind here, 60
got, PT course over
to 110.
1.5 for 9, turning southbound to the Jersey.
Now you want to find out exactly where the wind's coming from. Maintain altitude, maintain airspeed, because you don't want to throw any of your measurements off. Slowly turn left and right. See what happens to your airspeed, your ground speed. When it gets to its slowest, that's the direct headwind. So don't change pitch or power, otherwise you're going to throw off everything. Maintain airspeed, maintain altitude. Now you're down to 50. So you just turned a little bit into the wind.
Alpha Juliet, Intrepid, mid-river, south of 9.
Turn slightly right a little bit more. Let it pick it up a little bit. So go back to the left, which makes sense. The wind's coming out of the west. Let's try it that way. 4,000 feet, 100 knots. Don't overcorrect. You're right there.
Westbound, close touching number 3.
Set the D clock south of 9 for downtown.
Oh, we're gaining speed again.
Yeah, because you just dove. You pushed the nose down aggressively. So you dove. So that throws everything off. Your altitude changed and your airspeed changed.
That was Gava Stevens south.
Got an aircraft at 12 o'clock. Okay, stabilize again at 4,000 feet. Just a little over 100 knots. Give me a slight left turn. Maintain altitude and airspeed. Hardly move the controls at all. 52.
I'm not going to tell, of course, reversible base 159.
Going up again. So basically it's due west.
Intensity inbound.
Due west is our direct upwind heading.
Yep, there we are.
We'll do a lap in the hole.
50. 49.
That was Gava Holland.
Which really isn't due west. The heading indicator precessed a little bit. Put it on 290. Heading indicator has to be reset every once in a while in flight. It's a gyro and it will get off. That's why it can be adjusted. 290 degrees. There you go. So the wind is slightly out of the northwest, west-northwest.
60D Intrepid south of 9.
Tango Delta, South Tip Governor says statue.
Hey, we ready to hover?
Final 3-2 miles.
Just get the beams Lake Mohawk over here. 4,000 feet. 290 on the heading.
Traffic Cirrus is 5 miles to the northwest for the midfield left crosswind runway 24 wings.
Penridge traffic, Cessna Skyhawk turning downwind 26 Penridge.
Traffic White Cirrus 8 mile final 24 wings.
Cherokee 565.
Transitioning 2 miles off the approach on 24 at 2,500 westbound. Blairstown traffic, Archer's 5.
I got news for you. With this wind, we may even move backwards.
For 25.
Skymanor traffic at Skyhawks about 5 south will be inbound on the 45 for 25 Skymanor.
Okay, this is slow flight practice, so this is for fun, but also this is training. So I want you to slow it down as we get up in the lake here. You're going to be slowing it down at 4,000 feet. Want to maintain your heading where that heading bug is, or look outside and pick something. You want to maintain your altitude, and you want to slow the airplane down to about 60 knots on the inside scale. Got a little time before you get to the lake, so use that to get down to altitude. 4,000 feet. Smooth corrections on the pitch. We passengers don't want to feel those pitch changes.
Tango Whiskey, departing 30 Somerset, left closed traffic at Somerset.
Landing traffic, Skyhawk 73 Golf, left crossing, runway 27 landing.
Yeah, loud and clear, bro.
Traffic Cirrus is 1 mile to the northwest. We're overflying the numbers of 6 for the left crosswind runway 24 wing.
Before we do any maneuvers, we got to do AAA CT area. Got good landing areas below us, including Aeroflex Airport coming up.
Yep.
Our altitude, we got plenty of it. Our airspeed's going to be transitioning to slow flight. Clearing turns. Give me a left and right turn to check for traffic here.
Carl, how do you hear us?
Blairstown traffic, Archer's currently 3 north.
Clear to the left.
Setting up an upwind 25 to a crosswind for 25.
Nice and smooth, don't raise that nose so much on the right turn. Look what's happening to your altitude. Read that pitch.
Skyhawks on the left downwind for 27.
Get back down to 4,000 feet.
Failure, Linden.
Get back on a heading of 290.
Yep, I'm coming around.
Start the maneuver. Don't bring that nose up so high on the right turns.
To the north, Somerset.
Correction to the south, Somerset.
Hey, Carl, Stroudsburg, can you hear us?
Okay, you're good. Start slowing the airplane down. First thing we can do is put carburetor heat on. There you go. We're going to take out some power, and you're going to put down flaps once you get into the white arc, the flap operating range.
Archer.
You're going to slowly trade airspeed for altitude here by bringing the nose up, keeping your vertical speed on 0, keep it on heading. Put in another 10 degrees of flaps, or the first 10 degrees. If you haven't put any, they're going to balloon you, so lower that nose. You don't want to climb. And that ballooning is going to cause speed to bleed off too quickly. You're getting to the reverse side of the power curve where you need more power the slower you go, so start feeding in some power. Don't fixate at any of the flight instruments. Look outside, look all around, feel what the airplane's doing. Don't fixate. Another 10 degrees of flaps. Maintaining altitude, maintaining airspeed, or slowing airspeed down actually to 60. Getting on the backside of the power curve where you're going to need more power the slower you're going because of all the drag you're creating. You need thrust to equal all that drag.
County Warrior on page for 2-3, Camden County.
Okay, put in your final flap extension. Watch for the ballooning tendency. You're right at airspeed now. You're right at altitude. Neutralize that balloon with some forward pressure. Look where the nose is going. Neutralize that so you don't climb 100 feet. 60 knots. Pitch for airspeed, power for altitude.
Tango Whiskey, turning base 30.
Small pitch changes.
The Archer will
there you are. Now at 60 knots, we're only going 14 across the crown. We're going to do it even slower here. Slow down until you hear the horn going. Minimum controllable airspeed, so just trade a little bit more.
I have you inside. You can turn crosswind, probably you'd be fine.
You're going to hear that horn any second. Starting to come in now. Maintaining altitude, maintaining heading, maintaining airspeed, pitch for airspeed, power for altitude. Looking all over, not fixating on anything, doing real good here. You can trim away that control pressure if you're holding a lot of it. Slow it down till we hear that horn. We want that horn going. That's minimum controllable airspeed. Stay on that heading. That was where we were getting our best wind. Turn slightly right with coordinated aileron and rudder. Very tiny bit of aileron. Look outside at something. We're freaking going backwards. Look at a house down there. We are going backwards. You see it? Look down there. You see it?
I got it.
You see it? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Look at us. Look at our ground speed. 3 knots. We're going backwards right now. Big time backwards. I'm looking at the point of the I'm looking at this road right here. We're going backwards. Oh my God. Okay, recover. Lower the nose, add some power, recover to about 60 knots at 4,000 feet, and smoothly raise the flaps as you maintain altitude. 4,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 4,000 feet. You're letting the nose drop too much as you transition. Well, you got the best one of everybody. We went backwards, yeah.
Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point -3. Altitude 012.
All right, take it to Blairstown. Just follow the magenta line. Or that line there, fly towards the needle.
Zulu, weather, wind 260 at 9er. Gust 18, visibility 10.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's awesome.
Temperature 13 Celsius. Celsius. Dew point minus 3.
Traffic altimeter base 325. Skyhawk, you have any wind shear there?
When that said 1 or 2, it doesn't have a negative display. It was,
right.
It was probably -1 or 2. We got an aircraft zooming right at us here.
About a mile south. 600 feet southbound flight 2.
Visibility 10. Clear below.
Where'd he come from, Morristown?
No, it's coming from the west.
Celsius. Dew point -3. Altimeter 3012.
Blairstown traffic, Archer's turning final 25 clear.
Linden Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1813. Zulu weather wind 270 at 10 gust 15. Ability 1.
Yeah, you could start a gradual descent into Blairstown.
3 Celsius. Dew point
A couple hundred feet a minute, about 100 knots on the descent will work out good.
Linden Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1813.
Okay, as you capture that line, you got to turn the airplane back onto the line.
1 gust
Right.
Okay, so turn a little bit right. Otherwise, you're going to fly right on the other side of the line.
12,000. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point -3. Altimeter 3012. Linden Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation.
Traffic, Archer's clear.
Thank you, sir. And the Cirrus is about to turn base 25 Blairstown.
21. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 1.
There's Aeroflex on our right.
-3. Altimeter
See that airstrip there on our right, Bob, in between two lakes? Right there in between the water?
Oh, yeah.
That's fun to land in.
Wow.
Airport. Automated weather observation 1814. Zulu weather wind 270 at 13 gust 21. Visibility 10. Clear.
Head down my traffic, 7052 miles, final runway 21.
-3. Altimeter 3012.
Short final for the Cirrus 25 Blairstown.
So we've talked about the crab angle needed to hold a ground track for ground reference maneuvers.
Right.
And you saw it on that. You saw it going up the Hudson there.
Oh, yeah.
We were crab to the left to hold it, track
The whole
for a
way.
course.
Yeah.
13 Celsius. Dew point
Real easy when you have the river as a guideline.
Yeah. So you need to do that in the traffic pattern if there's a wind that wants to push you off the downwind or the upwind or the crosswind or the base leg.
Right.
Or the final or the departure leg for that matter.
automated weather observation 1815. Zulu weather wind 270 at
Somerset traffic, 7 Kilo Whiskey, 4 to the south. Anyone the pattern, Somerset.
10. Clear below.
Yeah, let's go descent checklist.
13 Celsius. Dew point -3.
Okay.
12.
Descent. Mixture full rich. Fuel is on both. We put it to right before.
Okay, so put
Oh,
it
we
on
want to
both.
go to both? Okay, fuel on both.
Traffic plan 60.
Carb heat as required.
We'll be entering 11.
Let's get our automated weather in case we have to set our altimeter.
Well, not only that, you want to know which way to land, right? You want to know where the wind's coming from. What else?
Temperature 1.
What else?
Flaps up.
Altimeter 3.
Altimeter set, instruments, heading indicator to compass. Descent checklist complete.
Yeah,
Put that
we're
away.
okay.
Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1816.
Keep descending.
Wind 270 at 14 gust 21. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point -.
Blairstown traffic, ponies entering midfield, left downwind 5, grass.
That's Somerset, 7 Kilo Whiskey's entering a midfield left downwind 30 Somerset.
Linden Location 1817 Zulu, weather, wind 270 at 14, gust 21, visibility 10, clear below 12,000, temperature 13 Celsius, dew point -3, altimeter 3012.
We started the emergency training, right? Simulated engine outs.
Yep. Yeah, our last one in, we did a 180. And
the 180 power off.
Yeah.
That's called the downwind key position, right? If we have a power failure at altitude and we can glide to that downwind key, it just becomes a power off 180 from there, right?
Right.
Linden traffic, Grumman is 2 north. We're going to fly over the field and enter the left downwind for 27, and we'll look for the Cirrus. 7 Kilo Whiskey turning final.
As remote and as unlikely as engine failures are, we train for them a lot, and you get them on the check ride for sure.
And we have you in sight. There's a Grumman. We're going to overfly the field.
It's going to get a little bumpy down here as we get closer to the terrain again. We got the wind blowing off against the ridge lines and so forth.
Linden traffic 5643, flooded 2 over the outer bridge, maneuvering 700 feet below. We got the traffic that's northeastbound toward Linden over Staten Island.
Linden traffic, Skyhawk, about 8 miles to the side. We'll be heading...
Coordinated aileron and rudder to raise a wing if it falls.
Well, you get to Robinson's off to your southwest, lower altitude. We got you in sight, no factor.
Temperature 13 Celsius, dew point -4, altimeter 3012.
Grumman's turning downwind 27 Linden. And the Cirrus is no factor.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Looking for our flags, I still don't see them. We're a little far away to see them though, ain't we?
Yep. We can level off at like 1,800 feet, and we'll have only 500 feet to go to pattern altitude as we get closer to the field. 1,890.
Left base 27 Linden.
Linden traffic, Cirrus is departing to the southwest.
Final 27 Linden.
Linden traffic, Skyhawk, now about 2 miles to the south. We'll be entering left base 27 over the turnpike.
Attitude plus power equals performance. Setting our pitch and our power, trimming away control pressure. Looking outside to do it, peeking inside. Good. 1,890 on course to Blairstown. Blairstown traffic, Skyhawk is 5 to the east, landing Blairstown.
Robbinsville traffic, Skyhawk is overhead at 4,000, simulated engine out to 29, and I have holding short traffic sitting there on the runway.
Linden traffic, Skyhawk, left base.
We could take a pretty good guess it's going to be runway 25.
Ready, go ahead and go. I'm at 4,000, it'll take me a while.
What I'm going to have you do is a ground reference maneuver here. We're going to enter on the base and continue on around the pattern, come all the way back around to the downwind. You're going to fly a nice rectangular course around the pattern. The town of Blairstown's right there. You can see the little steeple. The airport is just a couple of miles to the west of it.
South.
So it'll come in view in any second now.
Somerset.
Okay, remember what a rectangular course is? It's a rectangle. We use the airport as the reference. You want to fly a constant ground track around that airport, around that runway. Halfway up the wing strut on the downwind and upwind, Watch our altitude. We
Yeah,
didn't say to descend yet.
45 trees.
We wanted 1,890. Halfway up the wing strut on the base leg and the crosswind leg from the threshold line. Just start to see the hangars. 12 o'clock. On a course line between us and the gap, you could just see the hangars sticking out of the...
Oh, I see them now. In between this field and that field out there is the hangars just a little bit.
You got this field in front of us, then you got a bunch of woods, then you got a couple of buildings. Those are the hangars.
And then you got more woods in the next field.
Okay, now we're going down to pattern altitude and pattern airspeed, 1,480.
Base 30 Somerset.
Good. Now maintain that all the way around the pattern. Now you know where the wind's coming from. It's coming from over there. So as you fly this leg here to get to the upwind, which is on the other side of the runway, you're going to have to be crabbed which way? Left or right?
Overhead at 2,000.
Left. Correct. The wind is coming from the left, so you're going to be crabbed to the left. Okay, turn us on to our first leg here. Blairstown traffic, Skok is entering left base for 25. We're going to continue on to the left upwind 25 Blairstown. 1,480, you're going to roll out to establish a perpendicular track to the runway center line. You want to be 90 degrees on your track to it, but you're going to be pointed slightly to it to adjust for wind drift. So you're flying towards that supermarket down there, but you're pointing a little bit left of it. See that? Don't overdo it, or you'll fly towards the runway. Just a little crab angle. The wind isn't that strong down here. Just a little crab angle. Take out some of it. You're flying a little too close to the runway. Just a little crab angle to hold a rectangle around that runway. There you go. Now you're making a rectangle in terms of your ground track, perpendicular to the runway, but you're crabbed into the runway a little bit. 1,480, altitude and airspeed in the pattern. 1,480, you're a little low, add power and raise the nose. Turn onto your upwind leg. Blairstown traffic, Skok turn left upwind, 25 Blairstown. Now there's going to be virtually no crab angle because you'll be heading right into the wind. So the wind's not going to push you left or right. All it's going to do is affect your ground speed, which doesn't matter. What you care about now is airspeed. 80 knots on the airspeed. 1,400 feet on the altitude. Stay halfway up the wing strut from the runway. Don't let yourself veer outside or inside. Pick a point that would be like on railroad tracks with the runway, like that field way out there, and fly to that field. If there's a crab angle required, you will not be pointed at that field. But most likely there's going to be no crab here because we're basically heading right into the wind now. So it's not pushing us left or right. But on this next leg, which way are we going to be crabbed? Right. Yeah, we're going to be crabbed right to hold a perpendicular leg to the runway. 1,480. Got a little bit extra airspeed, a little bit deficiency in altitude, so trade one for the other with a little pitch. A little pitch up will bleed off your speed and cause a little climb right there on the vertical speed.
Yep. I'm ready to turn.
When you're halfway up the wing strut, from the threshold of the runway, you can turn. Blairstown traffic, Skok turn left crosswind 25 Blairstown. No more than a 30-degree bank angle. Roll out on a perpendicular ground track to the runway. Or the other way to say it is parallel to that threshold line. You're going to see that white stripe running like this across the runway at the threshold. You want to fly parallel to that out here. You're going to be crabbed a little bit away from that runway, otherwise you're going to get drifted towards it. There you are. You're flying to a point out there, but you're not aimed at the point. You're aimed a little bit right of it. There's a little crab angle to the right there to hold your perpendicular ground track. 1,480. Again, add a little back pressure to trade that airspeed build up for that altitude loss. Retrim, because the nose keeps going down. That's a sign you need to trim that nose up a little bit. Nope, you're going the wrong way. Nose up. Nose keeps falling. That's why you're losing altitude and gaining airspeed. So trim it up a little bit. Blairstown traffic, Skyhawk turning left downwind 25, Blairstown. Okay, on the downwind, you're not going to have much crab angle likely because the wind's right on our tail.
Right.
It's time for our landing checklist. Gumps, gas.
Yes, undercarriage, mixture.
Prop. Doesn't apply.
Don't
Seat
apply.
belts and doors. And pre-landing checklist if time permits.
And I think it will.
Okay.
So pre-landing, landing lights on. Autopilot off. Where am I? Autopilot.
Okay, let's bring the power back. We're going out too far. Power to 1500. Set 10 degrees of flaps. And descend 1500. Then set 10 degrees of flaps and descend at 80 knots. Left-hand turn to base leg. Slowing the airplane to 70 knots. Just a little back pressure will slow it. Leave the power where it is. Another 10 degrees of flaps will also slow it. 70 knots on the base leg. Now here's a ground reference maneuver again. You're crabbed a little bit towards the runway to hold the perpendicular base leg here. We're flying towards the super shopping center, but we're pointed a little left of it. 70 knots, altitude looks good, airspeed looks good, rolling on to final. Blairstown traffic, Skyhawk turn to final, 25 Blairstown. Coming in at 60 knots on the final, right down to that white threshold stripe that the arrows point to on the center line. Pitching for airspeed, power for altitude. Keep that nose where you need to hold 60 knots. If you can't see the threshold line, you've pitched the nose too high. That nose where you have a reasonable pitch attitude coming down. Airspeed's right at 60. Put in the rest of your flaps. If you get low, you're adding a little bit of power. If you get high, you're taking out a little bit of power. Right now, we're perfect. Coming right down to that threshold line at 60 knots. Get that nose on the runway with a little coordinated aileron and rudder. If we get slow, we lower that nose a little bit. Heard the stall horn trickle there for a second as you got a little wind gust. Coming right down to the threshold line, looking real good. Coming right on down there. Get the nose straightened out here with right rudder. Bring the power to idle. We have the field made. And we're going to hold it off right as we get down here over the ground. Hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off. Nice smooth landing on the center line. Use up hardly any runway. Make the first turn off to the left.
Welcome to Blairstown.
Yo, that was a beautiful...
Keep going a little bit here now. Pick up your speed a little bit. You're on a runway here. This is the grass runway. Pick up your speed. Clean up the airplane when able.
Hey, Papa, you want to go over the ramp?
Blairstown traffic, Scott clear to runway, Blairstown. Okay, cheat to the right a little bit to watch for that tail. Landing light can come off. And pull it into our tie down. You don't need to turn the yoke at this point, it's not steering you. Just your feet are steering you. Going.
Blairstown traffic, ponies rolling 25 with the grass of the glider.
Keep going, right about there. Okay, power to 1,000, shutdown flow. Power stays at 1,000.
Power to 1,000.
Start with the light switch panel.
Lights.
Swing your way all the way across, turn them all off.
Lights,
Except the beacon.
beacon stays on.
Carb heat off, flaps up. Swing down to your trim. Make sure that's set for takeoff.
Okay.
Autopilot off. Radio master off.